listening to the Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Today for the show, we are going to be expecting a lot. We are going to be talking about Governor Murphy officially winning the New Jersey race. We're going to be holding a special music segment later on as well. We've got a lot in store for this hour. Joining me today, I'm Kenny Horn. Hi, nice to meet you. Joining me today is my co-host, Lara Ziccardi.
That's me. Also, Kenny, I would like to say that was an extra long good morning just now.
Yeah, I got scared, so I didn't know what to do, so I just decided to scream.
Yes.
And we have our newscaster, Kelly Marr.
Hello.
You can say something.
Hi, Kenny. Hey.
Hi, Kelly. Hello. And JT Bethea for the first time ever, music segment host.
Hey, yo.
Hey, but we can't forget our sportscaster, Tanner Price. Say something.
Hello, I'm here.
That's my fault. Say something.
Hello, I'm here.
You are here. I can confirm that before we get into all of this and more. Kelly, please give us our newscast.
The CDC approves Pfizer COVID-19 vaccinations for kids ages 5 through 11. Director Rochelle Walensky said, quote, "We know millions of parents are eager to get their children vaccinated. And with this decision, we now have recommended that about 28 million children receive a COVID-19 vaccine," end quote. The Biden administration says it has secured enough doses for all children in that age group. Governor Murphy wins a second term by a narrow margin. On election night, Jack Ciattarelli was ahead of Murphy, but he pulled ahead as soon as more mail-in votes were counted. Wednesday evening, Murphy was declared the winner by the Associated Press because he was ahead by roughly 19,000 votes out of 2.4 million ballots cast. From November 9th through 11th, Wynton Marsalis will be in residence at the John J. Calley School of Music. He will be coming to the campus for a 3-day series of masterclasses and events. Marsalis will work with Montclair State students on improvisation, composition, and instrumental techniques. Today's forecast is sunny with a high of 51 and a low of 35. The humidity level is 39%, and there is an AQI of 14, so the air quality is good.
Thank you, Kelly. Tanner, please give us a sportscast. Tanner, please give us sportscast. Why can't I hear you? I am going to read the sportscast. Sorry, Tanner. I don't want to do this to you. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It is another week of Thursday night football. The Jets are hot off an underdog win versus the Bengals. Look to keep it going against Carson Wentz and the Colts. There is an update on the Henry Ruggs situation. According to Chief Deputy District Attorney Eric Bauman, Ruggs was reportedly traveling at 156 miles per hour in a crash that has left a 23-year-old woman and her dog dead, and Ruggs' blood alcohol level is 2 times the normal limit. Giants running back Saquon Barkley has tested positive for COVID. That hurts me as a Giants fan. He is vaccinated, so if he provides 2 negative tests in a 24-hour span, he is allowed to play Sunday, but he also has an ankle injury, which may keep him out regardless. That guy is like glass. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has also tested positive for COVID, but he is unvaccinated, so he's out for the week. Rodgers could face punishment since he at one point said he was immunized during a press conference. The NFL could punish Rodgers for acting like he got vaccinated when he did not. An article by Mike Puma of the New York Post says that once during the Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil rat versus raccoon fight, Lindor once grabbed McNeil by the throat. Puma also states that the argument started over McNeil not following the way the Mets' infield defense was supposed to be shifted, which led to a runner being safe. Finally, the Montclair State men's soccer team fell 1-0 to Rowan in the NJAC semifinals. Lara, please give us our first story for the day.
I would love to. So today we have Democrat Governor Murphy wins re-election. This is the first time in 44 years which a Democrat has won re-election. It was a tight race. Voters came out in a much higher rates than they did for the GOP oppressing party in 2017. But what does this mean for Democrats?
What does it mean for Democrats?
I'm going to tell you. Since the state has been so heavily Democratic, the polls have been neck and neck, but later on, Murphy was winning fairly easy. It's odd to think how... I know. I'm trying to think of words and not fill it with filler words.
I appreciate that.
Of course.
That makes me happy. Good
Well,
job, Lara.
Thank you. I just hit the wall. We've just been on such a long Democratic streak. How long is it going to run for? And I remember Biden did say something about this.
What do you mean by long Democratic streak?
Well, we have Biden winning the presidency.
I
We have
see.
Murphy winning the governor election. They're all Democrats. How is it going to stay like this? Is it going to turn red soon? Because I remember reading that the election was very close. I was watching the polls yesterday.
Was very close. And I have a personal theory about why it was close. While I don't know if this is true, I think that college students were not able to vote as much as they are. And I think this because I was not able to vote. And many people I know were not able to because we didn't know that we can't not vote in our town.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means that if we're up at school, we're not able to vote, and that's losing a vote. And you three can attest to this. New Jersey specifically and college students skew Democratic more than other groups, which means that most of them would have voted Murphy.
Mhm.
And if they weren't able to vote, I think he lost thousands of votes that way, which I think why the polls were so wrong.
Mhm.
That's a personal theory. I mean, not all of the mail-in votes have been counted yet. I can't attest to if that's true, but just what my thought is.
Yeah.
But as for everything being on a streak, there's no real way to tell. It's a streak that, I mean, in some ways the streak has ended because there's the 44-year absence of no Democratic incumbent being reelected twice.
Mhm. That's crazy.
Being reelected once, I should say. Yeah, 44 years. That's absurd, especially in a state that is Democratic most of the time.
Yeah.
Everybody else, thoughts?
Honestly, now you say that, it makes sense. Because that's the same reason I wasn't able to vote. Somebody told me to vote, and I know I'm not able to vote here because I face the same issue with the presidential election. I'm from Atlantic County. I'm 2 hours away.
Exactly. You
I
get it. Yeah, I'm an hour and a half away. I'm not doing that. That's
Oh.
3 hours out of my day and gas money and
It's
tolls.
inconvenient
Mhm.
to the students who are living here. And it's not fair because I'm sure you guys did want to vote.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you consider that most of college students, especially one in a Democratic state, skew Democratic.
Mhm.
That's what they would vote for. And he lost many, many votes, probably, in my thoughts. Tanner, what are you thinking? I still can't hear you, Tanner. That makes me sad. I love your beautiful, beautiful voice. Everybody else,
So I'm looking at the map right now.
good job.
And to the western part, the northwestern part, it's red. I see a lot of red. Our part, Passaic County, Bergen County, Essex County,
Oh, yeah.
blue. Middlesex County, blue. Trenton,
Yes.
blue.
Yes.
Then you move down to Monmouth County, and it's red.
Yes.
And then you move down to Cape May and Salem County, it's red. It's so interesting to see how split Jersey is for this
We're-
election.
In a way, representative of America,
Yeah.
in that the South, Republican, but the North is Democratic, which I think is very interesting, especially when we consider the societal differences in that.
Also,
the
if you
North,
at
what's up?
time- Sorry to cut you off there, Kenny, but I thought about that for a second, and I used to believe that the South was more blue, and that was to a recognition that how different the youth is from their parentage.
Oh,
When
yeah.
getting to know the youth, I realized that a lot of them are blue strictly because their parents are such radical
That is true.
Republicans that they grow up to want to be nothing like that. So
Mhm.
while you can go to their parents' house and you can see Trump 2024 on every window and every corner of their house, their room's got Biden Harris posted all over it.
Yeah. Also, one thing to
mean, I
notice.
See,
Oops, sorry. You go, Tanner.
I could see because maybe South Jersey is more towards like Philly and Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania usually fluctuates during like presidential elections.
Mhm.
And like North Jersey is closer to New York, and upper states will probably vote Democratic, so that could have an influence on it.
Yeah, that actually brings me to my next point perfectly. I was looking at the map again. You see a lot of cities, Newark, Trenton, they're blue, more populated. more people. Interesting to think about. Even when I was looking last year at the presidential election, even in Georgia, Atlanta is blue, Savannah's blue. It's so interesting to see how, and then you move north or south to the more rural areas and they're red. It's interesting to see how different areas affect political views.
I
Yeah.
also think that we're going to see a shift in traditional red and blue states, because if you remember with the presidential election, I forget, it might have been Texas. I'm pretty sure it was Texas.
My brother wasn't.
But yeah, for that big moment where Texas, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, was blue and everybody was shook because Texas is
Republican as
yeah.
it gets.
I think
yeah,
Texas
People make
almost
jokes
did.
about it.
they almost went blue. They almost
Mhm.
went blue for a second, and everybody was watching the polls, shook, and then at the last second something flipped and they went red, and we were like, figured. But that got us all to notice that. I think, well, some of us noticed that it's gonna change soon. I think that's coming with the new wave of voters finally of age. This generation specifically has been the most proactive in politics that I think we've seen in a while, and that's crazy coming from somebody who's a part of that generation. I noticed a spike in my age group's involvement in politics as young as 7th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something I noticed. Like, looking back, I think I've only lived through the lasting years of Bush's presidency and then the start of Obama's,
Yeah.
and I don't remember anything about Obama's presidency until like the last couple of years. I thought everybody loved Obama because I'm listening to my family until I got to like 7th and 8th grade. And that's the first time I'm hearing people say, oh yeah, Obama's a crappy president. And I'm sitting there like, okay. I didn't know what else to say. So my first actual presidency I got to actually live through and pay attention to was the Trump presidency. And
Oh yeah.
That's the first one we all experienced.
Yeah.
I remember being a freshman in high school when that election was going on. And it was so interesting to see how the world just not shifted, but I kind of grew up faster watching that presidency, if that makes sense. It's just like, wow, like this is happening.
Yeah.
It's just watching it before my own eyes instead of hearing about it when you're a kid. You're actually experiencing
You're part
it.
of the change.
Exactly.
Even if you're a freshman in high school.
You're older. You are aware
you
of
get it.
the world more.
And I remember back when Trump first ran, or at least announced his candidacy in 2016, that I was in 8th grade history class and the teacher was going over all of the candidates, potential candidates, because this is before they officially declared. And it said Donald Trump. And he said I want to quote this, but I can't because there's a mean word in there. There is no way in anti-heaven that he is going to win. Not a chance. And that was clearly wrong in retrospect. I remember when the day that happened, I was like, wow, it's so interesting. And we did on that same day in my 10th grade history class, because that was a couple years later, we did a mock vote where everybody in the class anonymously voted who they thought should win. And there are maybe 3 people for Hillary Clinton, including, and which was one of them was me. And the rest was Trump.
Wow.
And which is interesting because I come from about as Republican as it gets in the state. I come from Ocean County. And Ocean County, if you were listening to our election night coverage, our reporters, Kai Masiak and Ben Patrick, they were there on the scene speaking to people in Toms River, one of the main places in Ocean County, about their voting and what issues they care about. And in some cases, the person would say who they voted for. And in most cases, I was the one that edited them before they went to air. And in most cases, it was in favor of Jack Ciattarelli.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just voting along party lines, which in some ways is good, but in some ways is bad.
Do you think that for the next governor election, we might flip red? This is a question, everybody. I'm just curious.
This is a possibility.
I mean, there's no way to tell. Depends on who runs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what do you all think about Governor Murphy's new 4 years? What do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to enact things that he couldn't do before because he had an election on the line?
It's possible.
I think he's going to make vaccine mandates and vaccination mandates much more common. Because if he did that before the election, it's just a personal opinion. If he did that before the election, it would make a lot of people upset. Maybe those people were on the fence about things.
Yeah. And now that he has secured his spot back, maybe he will go forth with that.
Maybe there's no way to really know.
You can't tell him, you will never know until he does it. That's the thing. It's hard to predict what's going to happen next.
Yeah, there's no way to really predict it.
Yeah.
But what do you think about his role as a Democrat now? Where does he fit in the national scale? This is something I've thought about a lot.
That's a
If-
good question.
If
It
I'm
is a
going-
very good question. That's why I'm in charge of the show.
if I'm going to be 100% unequivocally honest with you all, I am a very bad citizen when it comes to knowing what the governor's up to. Meaning, I've only really,
It's
The
good to
only-
be aware about your mistakes.
huh?
It's good to be aware about your mistakes.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm commenting you. Good job.
And I think the only thing that Governor Murphy has actually been active on that I've been updated with was his stances on COVID. I think the most into knowing what the governor was up to was those little months ending my senior year of high school
Yes.
where I was looking at the updates every day to try and see if there was a chance
Well,
I could
what
finish my senior
year
yeah.
are
year.
you here? Because I'm curious now.
What year am I here? I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. Okay, you
So-
two are the same.
I came
Yeah.
from
And,
the
and all three of you. Tanner?
I'm a freshman.
Okay. All right. It's not, we're still outnumbered. Sorry, JT, continue.
I personally came from the 2020 senior class that was
Mhm.
hit one of the hardest with the COVID situation. So the most active I was ever into looking out to what Governor Murphy was doing was looking at the updates every day to see if there's a possible chance I could finish off my year normally, which we all
Yeah.
know how that ended. So I think that was my first time actually being able to form an opinion of how Governor Murphy is as a governor. And while, like many seniors, I was upset that things weren't going the way I would hope, I was forced to come to the realization that it was the right thing to do. So personally, as far as I know, Governor Murphy's doing a pretty good job. So I don't know why every time Governor Murphy's name is brought up, some people in the room just start hacking up hair
Oh,
and
yeah.
screaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking this one guy in my class. We were talking about the election, and as one does, and he's like, "Oh, I hate Murphy," and I'm like, "Why? I'm curious." And he's like, "I just hate him." I'm like,
That's
"Yeah, that's no. You don't have a reason."
Ben and I were talking about this yesterday, and we're both from Ocean County. He's from Towns River, which is why they went there. I'm from 2 towns over, Forked River.
Forked. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
spelled
I will
forked.
never get over that.
Oh, it's weird. It's spelled forked,
Yeah,
pronounced
who came up with
forked.
that? I don't know.
Wait, for real?
What was that, Tanner?
I don't know who came up with that. Like forkhead. What is that?
I couldn't tell you, but I'm from Forked River and Ocean County. It's a huge Ocean County thing. Pretty much everybody I know to just defend something just to defend it. It's extremely common. And when you're asked why, and I know so many people like this, because I do. And I always say, why? Why? Because you do. Just because. And I'm like, that's not an answer. But I'm wondering about specifically Murphy on the national scale now, because with his leadership from the coronavirus, I think that his leadership is the reason why we're as okay as we are. Because when this all started, we were the second worst state in the country, second only to New York, and we're the most densely populated. So it stands to reason that we are going to be hit hard by something like that. And the fact that we're able to bounce back and be one of the best now, there were lists I saw that we had some of the most decreasing numbers all throughout the country, all throughout the world. And in my opinion, that wouldn't have been doable without him leading the way. I remember, I guess I can say this. I remember I used DoorDash, and I remember I walked into one restaurant and there was a picture of Governor Murphy on a sign as soon as you walked in. And it said, "Don't be a mask hole.
Oh no.
I'm looking at a sign that says that right
Don't
now.
be a knucklehead. Wear your mask."
No.
As because he says knucklehead all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, that one. But I think I'm not saying this is going to happen. Of course, none of us can predict the future. A potential run for president is doable. Thoughts?
Didn't think of it like that.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I thought about this before the election.
I thought about that with Cuomo, but we all see how that turned out.
Yeah.
So my predictions for governors turning to presidents haven't been in the works since last year, but it would be interesting to see Murphy flip from state to the executive branch.
It would be
run for it.
Very interesting. What do you think he should? That's the big question.
Exactly. Well, I don't think I can answer that right now. Honestly, maybe. I'll just say maybe.
I think he's shown that he is capable of positive leadership and rallying a group of people together for the best for all of them. It's just my personal thoughts. As I've said a few times, I just want to make that clear. I think if he ran for president, he would have my vote.
When you put it like that, yeah. He might have mine as well.
Yeah. But of course, this depends on the other people that run as well.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I was going to say something along the lines of I've been very critical of everybody on both sides of the aisle, especially running for president, for the past two that I've been paying attention to. 2016 wasn't a fan of either. 2020 wasn't a fan of either.
Yeah.
I think what we need for presidency, number one, somebody young.
Yes.
Because let's be
I agree.
Yeah, I don't even need to go into that. Number one, somebody young. And number two, a qualification I don't think people recognize enough. You need to be able to be bipartisan in a sense. You can still have your party, but what I've been noticing, especially with the past two, is the candidates have been very radical to their side. The most centrist-leaning candidate we've had was Bernie, and both sides were rushing to get him out. The Democrats were rushing to get him out both 2016 and 2020.
Which is funny because most Republican people were calling him the most extreme Democrat.
But he's independent, is that right?
He's not even a Democrat. And of course, the Republicans. It seems like people run with, to quote Star Wars, if you're not with me, you're my enemy. Thank you to my roommate for that one. Put me onto that.
JT, do you have the high ground though?
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. You just never surprised me. It never failed to surprise me.
I'm glad. I'll take that as a compliment.
Actually, no, you never surprised me.
I never surprise you.
No, because you do it. Because you do it all the time.
You know what? I'll take that back. Thank you. Anyway, JT, as you were saying,
take back something you said.
Yeah, I just did. Anyway, JT.
She breaks all the rules.
I'm gonna make sure you fail your DJ test now.
You wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
Nah. Man, I forgot where it was.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Oh yeah, if you're not with me,
Star
then you're
Wars.
my enemy, and that's the logic that a lot of voters and candidates run with. And I think is one of the main reasons that America is the way it is, because everybody's always at each other's necks. And instead of thinking, maybe let me stop to listen before I interject.
Stop, look and listen, baby. Does anybody know that song or just
No.
me? It's an Elvis song.
No.
I was gonna
Called
try and
Rubbernecking.
see if I
Sorry.
remembered it, but
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
old. It's like 70 years old. Continue.
About as old as all of our presidential candidates.
Oh, that's
that was good.
Oh man, I'm out of jokes now.
Preach. But one thing is for sure, Governor Murphy, I guarantee he's been playing this song on repeat today. This song is by Queen. It is We Are the Champions. Welcome back to the show. Before that, Summer ID 2 in a extremely cold day, 30 degrees, something like that. Was We Are the Champions by
nippy.
Queen. What would you just say?
Bit nippy in it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to continue telling a story that I was telling when we were off air because I'm in charge of the show and I do what I want. So, except for when I get yelled at. I don't like that. That's not fun. But what I'm talking about we were talking about how JT had a history teacher whose middle name was S, the letter S. My brother's middle name is T, the letter T, and that's because his mom, we have different moms, made a clerical mistake when she wrote down on the birth certificate T. She assumed that they would think it meant Thomas. So all throughout his life, he thought his middle name was Thomas until he was 18, and then he joined the army. They're like, "What's your legal name?" And he told them, and they said, "You don't exist." And he then got his birth certificate.
Imagine being told that.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that. Imagine going to the army and going, "Oh,
You don't exist.
right?
Okay.
Thanks
Yeah.
for letting me know."
Yeah, I actually, in the summer, I interviewed a guy. His name was Jeff Athey. He got famous on TikTok because the government declared him legally dead. He's been trying to prove for about 3 years that he's actually alive.
How do you prove
That's
you're-
like the opposite effect.
There's a
of-
whole
yeah.
there's a whole system for it, and it just takes a long time. Anyway, my brother, when he joined the army, he's like, "What?" And he eventually looked at his birth certificate. It said T. Long story short, my brother, his name is Justin T. Horn. He is literally Mr. T.
We love that.
Yeah, it's great. But we have more news. That doesn't matter for anything. I just think it's hilarious.
It's going off the rails already.
Yeah. I would always say that Ben was really bad with going off the rails, but I think I'm much worse.
Yeah.
Not than he is, but I'm much worse than I give myself credit for. Anyway, in an overwhelming vote, Montclair chooses to have an elected school board. This is something that was very high in Montclair. The voters in Montclair have approved a move to an elected school board, putting aside the municipality's long-held practice of mayoral appointments and taking on the process seen in 97% of New Jersey school districts. The referendum question before voters Tuesday was the latest version of a proposal Montclairians rejected 5 times since the 60s, when Montclair last put a referendum question on a change to an elected board before the voters. In 2009, the question was defeated 57-43. This vote bucks that trend, and it wasn't even close. Even with some votes yet to be counted, the victory for the pro-elected side of what's been a fierce community debate for months was so lopsided as to be insurmountable. In unofficial results reported by the Essex County Clerk's Office around 11:30 p.m. on election night, just over 8,000 people backed the change to a Type 2 school system with an election board. 70.69% of the vote tallied to that point. Just about 3,400 voted to keep the current system. What?
You mean to tell me they don't have an elected school board
Exactly.
until now?
Exactly.
What?
And they've been trying to fix this. Okay, I'm not going to say fix because I would get yelled at for that. Trying to change this since the 60s. That is 60 years.
I'm trying to do the math, but I'm just gonna whip out my calculator. to
60
see how long
years.
that takes.
That's what I'm here for, Lara.
No, I can do it myself. I'm a big girl. 61 years it took. Sorry, I
You
can't.
sounded so proud.
I use a calculator. I can't do mental math. That doesn't work in my brain.
It
No, the subtraction. It just I need to see the subtraction. I need to see it on paper. I need a pencil. I can't do it in my brain because I can't carry over and add the one in my brain. It's just too complicated. But anyway, that is great. They have an elected school board.
How did they not?
Exactly. How did they do it without it? That's the thing.
The mayor would appoint it.
That's really?
Yeah, that's what it was. Mayoral appointments.
I mean,
It's kind of like the Supreme Court, which I think should also be elected.
Yeah, I agree.
And especially not for life, but that's a
Mhm.
whole other issue.
Maybe, yeah, that's a
some
different topic.
schools have a school board, and they might as well not. So it's not too hard to imagine a school board that doesn't have a school board. I
Is there
don't
a
know.
school?
Yes, high schools are. We're speaking high school, right? Please tell me I'm on the right track.
Well, the school board, it governs all schools in a district.
Oh, yeah,
So
right,
it'd
right.
be everything from preschool to high school.
So you mean to tell me that they just added this now?
Yes.
That is crazy to me. Anyway, sorry, JT.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, you're good.
As you were saying.
You're good. And I was just saying, like, at first I'm with you. I'm like, that's crazy. And then I remember other school districts, as not to throw my own under the bus, as I'm not the only one who went through this, who have school boards that can never get on track or can never make a decision, at least not one that lasts more than a year. So sometimes I see those type of school boards and I think, there might as well be one person running behind. That way, we could just blame one person when something doesn't go our way versus a whole committee that can never get along in the first place.
Yeah.
So, mayoral appointments, while they seem crazy, personally to me, as far as schools, they aren't that bad. I
Mm.
do believe in school boards more, but at the same time, I believe in school boards that work. So if I had a choice between one person saying what goes for the schools and a committee of people that can never agree on anything, I'd go with the one person.
Hmm.
That's a personal thing. It's a lesser of two evils, like we've been saying for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
That actually differs from what I experienced. So at my hometown, we have a regional high school that I did not go to, but my mom went there, and my grandpa was on the school board for I don't know how many years. Hi, Grandpa,
Nepotism.
but
Sorry.
yeah, it's
I'm awful.
He's
I
been
take
on it.
that back.
That's okay. But he's been on it 70s to the 80s, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But even hearing about him talking about that and then reading how Montclair has an elected school board, it's just weird to me because I always thought all schools had this, but they don't. And you learn something new every day.
Every day.
Yes.
Which brings
It's
me
cool,
to a question.
Cool
Sorry.
thing. This on election night, someone on the board of education that got elected to it in my town is someone I went to high school with,
Really?
which is really cool.
Hmm.
That's really cool.
Nice.
I was in like Boy Scouts with him, and it was pretty cool seeing someone that I knew like winning.
seem
one
like
of
a Boy
these
Scout.
offices. What?
You seem like a Boy Scout.
Yeah, I quit after 2 years.
Oh,
Oh.
maybe not.
Yeah,
That's cool. All the people I've known in high school just got married, so that's kind
No.
of scary.
Oh, yeah, that's the weirdest
that is
thing
weird.
when that starts happening.
I'm sorry, that's actually middle school,
It's-
but
Oh yeah.
Mm.
That's
School.
that's
Sorry.
That's
Okay.
weird. I don't know. No,
I'm going to say something to you guys during the break about people who got married during from my high school. I can say it now, but I don't want to out them like that.
don't do it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not
worth
going
it.
to out them like that. But what we can out is our next story. Lara, please give it to us.
Hey, nice transition.
That's why I'm in charge of the show.
That was the second time you said that.
That's why I'm in charge of the show.
How many times are you gonna say it?
6 Republicans who were in DC on January 6th won elections this week. 6 Republicans who went to the Capitol on January 6th won their own elections on Tuesday night. The winners are 3 members of the Virginia House delegates, 2 won re-election, and a newcomer will join the legislature next year. 3 candidates won their local elections in Idaho and, get this, New Jersey. 13
Yeah.
Republicans who attended the Capitol have sought elected office this year. All of them have denied entering the U.S. Capitol or haven't even addressed what they did on that day. In New Jersey, Susan Soloway, director of the Hunterdon County Board of Commissioners, won re-election Tuesday. All I could say is what? How?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The line where they say
Oh,
they
that should if-
you go.
that happened. You shouldn't be able to like run for anything.
There are people who are being federally prosecuted
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
their role.
And
in
these
that.
people,
Now,
even
these
if they,
people
even if they
are
didn't go in it, they still went with the intent of probably going in or
that's yeah.
causing something.
was
And
a
if
revolt.
Someone like that is in a place of power, then that's not good because it could start in just like a regular town election, but who knows?
Where will that lead
It
to?
could lead to maybe someone being the president. You never know.
Exactly. We've seen.
And if
yeah.
that happens, then it wouldn't be good for a lot of people.
Yeah. Plus, the line where they say all of them have denied entering the Capitol or haven't addressed what they did. I was a PR major. From a PR standpoint, interesting, because they're not going to go out directly and say, "Oh yeah, I went in the Capitol," because that's not going to get you the votes.
You'll say it after.
Of course. Actually, they probably won't even say it at all. But
Something that I hate and hate. I know that hate's a strong word. So something that I hate about politicians are the fact that, like you said, Kenny, There are people that are being federally prosecuted for this type of stuff. With politicians, whenever it comes to them being held accountable, I hate the extra mile we go to for politicians. That's never made sense to me. For literally anybody else, you do something, you get arrested. Once you had the evidence, go to trial. I know this was politicians, and I also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the same thing with police officers. If they do something, you first have to have a hearing to decide whether or not they're actually gonna be held accountable. And then if they say yes, I believe there's another hearing to decide. I think that's the grand jury, I believe. I'm definitely shifty on my terms, but I know there's extra steps before you actually get to the point where you say, okay, we're gonna put you on trial to be held accountable for what you did. And I don't understand why that's a thing, especially for politicians or more so law enforcement, because to me, that seems like a safety shield. America says nobody's above the law, but that extra mile we have to go to hold politicians accountable just seems like they're above the law.
Yeah, it does seem like they're above the law.
I looked up, the George Floyd trial, and the police officer, Chauvin, he only got
Derek Chauvin.
Thank you. Words are hard in the morning. And last names. He got 22 and a half years in prison for killing a man. How is that
There's no
fair?
real fairness to it in all of our opinions, and something that is also related to people's lives is the coronavirus and how many life expectancies have fallen. The US had the second highest, steepest decline in life expectancy among high-income countries during the pandemic, says an article from NBC News. A study performed by the British Medical Journal says premature death in 37 countries in 2020. The US had the worst trend, with men saw life expectancy fall by nearly 2.3 years, while women lost more than 1.6.
Weren't men already like a significantly lower amount to
Define
live?
significant.
Significant meaning I don't know, but I've often heard the phrase, "This is why women live longer than men." And I've heard it
men are
enough
stupid.
times to say significant.
I've done a lot of stupid things.
Yeah, that's why I say
A lot of
significant.
stupid
I
things.
acknowledge that I might not know exactly how much, but the amount of times I've just heard somebody say it, including men, say, "This is why women live longer than men." I myself have said that a number of times.
I think I've said that to you at one point in
You
our
probably
friendship.
have.
I've
Yeah.
definitely done some things that would put me at risk, which is not good.
Oh, I
not
know,
even in a like I'm wanting to do that, just because like being able to tell a story, which is not a good reason.
We always like to be able to tell a story.
It's fun.
I've been described,
Testosterone is a
jumping
terrible
the
thing.
fence.
I've been
That
described
wasn't
as
bad, Lara.
I'm just
I've been
It's a
described
joke
as
now, I
a
guess.
walking definition of "do not try this at home," and I am extremely proud of that.
JT gets it. JT gets it. But we are going to move on to our break. JT is going to give his first ever music segment, covering during that segment when we're talking about Michael Jackson. Here's Michael Jackson. Thank you, Weird Al. I think that everybody else are really lucky to be able to listen to the Morning Buzz at WMSC. Thank you, Weird Al. I'm going to tell another story because we were talking about this during the break. Pitbull. So this actually kind of relates. This came out, Mr. Worldwide 305. Back when I was a Rutgers student, we went on a Thanksgiving break, and I forgot to lock my door before I went on the break, so it was open the whole time. And my friends, I guess they found out. So when I came back, I laid down in bed for the first time, and it felt like it was crinkling. I was like, "What is wrong with my bed?"
What?
I looked under the blanket. I know. I looked under the
What?
blanket. There was a poster of Pitbull
Love
just
that.
laying in my bed like he was sleeping.
It's 305.
Mr. Worldwide 305. So what I did is I got a bunch of tape and I taped the poster to my ceiling right above my bed.
Love
Oh my
that.
Every
That's
night
fireball.
before you go to sleep, you could you pray to Pitbull.
Exactly. My roommate must have thought I was super weird.
That's quite
There was-
fireball.
Well,
There was
didn't
there was one time where the poster fell on top of me while I was sleeping.
Oh, we
Um,
love
you
it.
just woke up and saw pit bulls staring right back at you?
Yeah, I woke up to the greatest thing ever, and I'd go to sleep thinking about him.
That,
And when I eventually transferred from the school and left it, I gave it to 2 guys, and I don't know what happened to Pitbull.
for some people, that waking up and pit bull staring right back at you. For some people, that's a dream, or
That was my motivation.
You
Anyway,
woke up every day, you saw pit bull, and we're like, we're doing this.
Wake
JT's
up.
music segment.
Been there, done that.
Woo!
All right. So I'm gonna keep things traditional.
Wait, sorry. You remember when I said I do stupid things? That's one of my many examples. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep things traditional and start things off with this day in music. Today is November 4th. So November 4th, 1995, one of my favorite artists, Michael Jackson, premiered his single "The Earth Song" on the German celebrity game show Wanna Bet. Also today in 1969, Sean Combs, more commonly known as Puff Daddy P. Diddy, or most notably Diddy, was born in Harlem, New York City. And in
Diddy's
1991,
that young?
Huh?
Diddy is that young?
that's what
Happy
I'm saying.
birth.
He's been around.
It's Scorpio
it.
season.
Oh yeah.
Are you one of those astrology people?
Possibly.
Uh,
I'll read your birth chart.
She is. She don't be ashamed of
you
it.
can read my birth chart.
I can?
Let's do it after this.
Yes. Okay.
And in 1991, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there we go, announced its 7th class of inductees, including Jimi Hendrix, Booker T and the MGs, Sam and Dave, the Yardbirds, the Isley Brothers. I said Isley, the Isley Brothers. Isley, there we go. Johnny Cash and Bobby Blue Band.
I heard Bobby Blue Bear.
Bobby Blue.
Wait, I
Bobby Blue Bear.
sounds like a Care Bear or something.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Go ahead.
Wow.
With some hot trending songs from Billboard. No recent shifts on the Billboard charts lately. The past couple of weeks, they've stayed the same, especially the top 3 with Adele, The Kid Laroi, and Lil Nas X with their respective songs. They've stayed where they are, 1, 2, and 3. Adele topping, I forgot the name of her first new song. Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber stay bubbling at number 2. And Lil Nas X and Jack Harlow's Industry Baby still at number 3. Not much has changed. Even though it hasn't hit the charts yet, other charting news, as Halloween Weekend came to a close this past week, the Queen of Christmas's timeless song, All I Want for Christmas, is coming up on the rise. Fun fact, it's been starting to spike up so much, a Texas bar had to ban the song until December 1st.
Good.
I like that. I like that
Excellent.
Texas bar.
Good.
Love it.
Uh,
I'm gonna go there.
It's funny because those people, I'm sure at the bar, they were getting much more business when that song was playing.
So Mariah Carey defrosted already.
Man, I don't know if y'all saw that Twitter video
Don't
where she
wanna
smashed the
let go,
pumpkin.
Christmas.
It's a great song, but not
Just
yet. JT,
one
continue.
thing on me.
Anyway, since I'm out of Billboard news, let me go to some artist news.
Newspaper news.
Patterson,
Another
New
form of
Jersey rapper Fetty Wap
advertising.
was arrested moments before he took stage at this year's Rolling Loud Festival on drug-related charges. The MC that shook
Is that the guy with one eye?
Yes.
I
Yep.
always forget. All right, cool.
the MC that shook the world in 2015 with hits like Trap Queen, My Way, and 679, was working hard on a come up, having just releasing his album, The Butterfly Effect. He already lost his daughter earlier this year, so he was already having a rough year. Loss of his daughter was what kind of inspired his come up. I think Rolling Loud was supposed to be his claim to fame, and he was arrested moments before he was supposed to go on stage. And apparently, if convicted, word is he could potentially face life in prison, which is wild for drug-related charge. As we mentioned before, there's people who've killed people who are receiving far and far less time.
I was just gonna say
Anti-wet.
that.
Other news, Avril Lavigne announces big music news. Canadian punk rock artist Avril Lavigne announced big news for her comeback to the music scene, signing on with Travis Barker's record label DTA and teasing a new single. Some fun facts about DTA. DTA Records was launched in late 2019 by Blink-182 drummer as a joint venture with Elektra Records. The label has kickstarted upcoming artists such as Jaden and Casper, who none of them are spelled the way it's supposed to be spelled, by the way.
JXDN for
Yeah.
Jaden.
And
Don't even get me
Casper
started on that.
Casper without the E, which okay.
Quirky.
You
I've been
know what?
compared to Casper because of my skin tone.
You're an artist.
I'm extremely
Do
white.
you.
Kenny, you're the friendly ghost. You are the oh my god, the ghost of Kenny.
Yep.
Casper, wait, I'm trying to think. I'm start.
Kenny the
Casper.
friendly ghost.
Kenny yeah.
There you go.
Also, Travis Barker. I just been seeing so many TikToks recently of people making fun of Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh, the Kardashians.
Oh my god, Travis. I'm going through my emo phase at 40. I'm sorry, I had it. It's been living in my head rent free. I didn't know he had a label.
He does. He's bringing back pop punk.
I love it.
I didn't know who he was until like a month ago. But
I mean, he was the drummer.
he looks like a pencil. I don't know
A
why.
pencil.
I'm not gonna lie. A lot
Him-
of punk
him
rock
and-
artists look like
Him
that.
and
Like a pencil
Machine Gun
someone
Kelly,
chewed on.
they,
And
they
there's-
both look like pencils.
Yeah,
I don't know
there's-
why.
Looks like a
I just see him
drumstick,
and I
so
just
it
see
And yeah.
pencil.
And their significant others are just Bratz dolls, just gorgeous model. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
That are going through emo phases.
I saw a meme one time, and it was a heterosexual couple, and it was a Barbie doll and a Lego man. That is the same energy, just next to each other.
Yeah.
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 Whoever would have predicted that Travis Barker, the drummer for Blink 182, and Kourtney Kardashian would get married. I mean, they're engaged, but
Engaged.
still almost there.
Good
Oh
for
my
them.
God.
What else
and
you got?
MGK and Megan Fox.
What else you got, JT?
And lastly, and something that I was struggling for music news. Something that I remember, and I saw this on a video a couple of days ago. But Cardi B is upset at sad rappers. The Bodak Yellow rapper went live on Instagram recently to express some concerns about the club scene. The Bronx MC went on to claim that, quote, "rappers on drugs ruined the club scene." She specifically mentions that she feels that all of the songs are the same because of marijuana, and says, quote, "these rappers nowadays, all of them want to die."
Maybe they're just asking for help.
That's
Cardi.
something I thought too. And in the hip hop scene especially, we've seen a rise of a lot of emotional songs with artists like Polo G and Rod Wave. I remember everybody quoting "Heart Been Broke So Many Times, Don't Know What to Believe" out of their mind
You
a
can't
couple of years ago.
you can't forget X. I was
X.
I was
The
a little
rise.
sophomore me was loved X.
The rise of emotional rappers has come up.
Emo rap.
Emo rap. You got XXX, you got Juice World, you got Trippie Redd. Even your more popular rappers, they're charting songs. The Baby, one of his comeback songs after his little stunt over the summer, was, as Cardi B likes to say, a wanna die song. And apparently she says that they're ruining the club scene and people hate her for wanting to turn up. And
No, I hate Cardi B for other reasons.
same. There
Many.
is so
but like
many.
the sad songs aren't for the club, Cardi.
No, there's just so many things
Who's
that
going
take
to a club and like and listening to one of those songs and
When we say we're crying in the club,
dancing to it. Just,
it's not
no.
what- yeah.
I mean, she has a point, but then there's just so much to like disappoint that, like, not disappoint. Why did I say that? There's just so much to dissect about that. It's like, one, Cardi B, right message, wrong messenger for a number of reasons, personally. Number two, at the same time, again, she does have a point. I don't want to, if I'm gonna go to a club, which I'm too young to, by the way, I'm gonna keep things legal on air. If I'm gonna go to a club, I would rather
Not necessarily. There are clubs that are 18 and older, as long as you just don't do the special juice,
noted.
What, the Kool-Aid?
more or less.
Cool.
I'll
But that was a
definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, if I were to go to a club, I would much rather listen to something upbeat as opposed to sing along to Trippie Redd and his very
Sad boy hours.
melancholy.
See, I know it's different, but
At 8 a.m.
These were-
here at 90.3 WMS Upper Montclair. Sad boy hours is the hour we bond together. All day. Sad. The reason I do that is
These
because I have
were-
a show called
those
The
were all
Graveyard
the-
Shift where I
all the
play very
songs-
sad songs.
all the
At 2
songs that
a.m.
we're talking about were all the songs that I listened to Tuesday night after the Braves won the World Series because
Oh man.
I see.
So, I was
I'm
just, I was like, I was
see.
like, when are the Mets gonna win one? Probably never, but we're not going to talk about that.
You have my
You
condolences.
can't
but
win
I'm a Yankees
27
fan.
like us Yankees.
Yeah,
Eh,
Yanks. Sorry.
eh.
You have my condolences though.
Not mine.
We're not starting a Met Yankee argument on air.
We might.
That'll last.
That'll last until tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
Cam will come in. Cam's the host, main co-host. Cam's a huge sports guy. He'll keep it going for the whole weekend.
Wasn't he the guy that went to the party?
We'll be
dressed
here
as a
Monday
referee?
morning.
No one else will even speak. It'll just be Cam talking for 3 days straight.
Oh, man.
I love Cam with a passion, though. I love that man.
Nice.
But yeah, that's about it for the music news today.
Thank
you, JT. You killed it your first time.
Woo.
Hey, let's go.
You did great.
You did do great, and Lara kind of taught him how to do it.
Hey,
They worked on it together.
The student becomes the master. But yeah.
Wait, did you call yourself a master?
No,
You did.
I
You
called
know what?
JT.
she should call
Wait.
herself the master because I would be lost. I'm
I'm going to be honest. I didn't really know how to do it, so I had her teach you.
Anytime.
I've never had to do it.
I looked at the script and thought that like you had pre-written this
Mhm.
week's music notes, and
No,
then
sir.
I noticed October 28th, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not tomorrow.
We're going to move on to our break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
I asked
Welcome back to the Morning Buzz here at WMSC 90.3 FM. That was a CBB about the Montclarian, which is WMSC's on-campus newspaper. I don't know why I said it like that. We have a lot of news to cover for this second hour. We are going to be talking about a whole bunch of things. We're going to talk about Jay-Z, whirlwind romances, and what Florida man did this time. Before we get into all of that,
Florida man
and
does something
more, Kelly, newscast. If you don't do it, I will fire you.
Okay,
Whoa.
the CDC approves Pfizer COVID-19 vaccinations for kids ages 5 through 11. Director Rochelle Walensky said, quote, "We know millions of parents are eager to get their children vaccinated.
They're
And with
eager
this
beavers.
decision, we now have recommended that about 28 million children receive a COVID-19 vaccine," end quote. The Biden administration says it has secured enough doses for all children in that age group. Governor Murphy wins a second term by a narrow margin. On election night, Jack Ciattarelli was ahead of Murphy, but he pulled ahead as soon as more mail-in votes were counted. Wednesday evening, Murphy was declared the winner by the Associated Press because he was ahead by roughly 19,000 votes out of 2.4 million ballots cast. From November 9th through 11th, Wynton Marsalis will be in residence at the John J. Calley School of Music. He will be coming to the campus for a 3-day series of masterclasses and events. Marsalis will work with Montclair State students on improvisation, composition, and instrumental techniques. For our extended weather, today it is Thursday. It is sunny with a high of 51 and a low of 35.
Burn.
Friday, it is sunny with a high of 53 and a low of 32. Saturday, sunny, high of 54, low of 35. Sunday, it is sunny again with a high of 53 and a low of 38. Monday, it is sunny with a high of 64 and a low of 44. Tuesday, it is sunny with a high of 65 and a low of 45. And Wednesday, it is partly cloudy with a high of 62 and a low of 46.
Thank you,
being
Kelly.
an
Sounds like
and
we need a
screaming.
jacket this week.
Yes, it is getting chilly.
I don't know why you said that like you were making a pun.
Maybe I was.
I don't.
I
think-
wasn't.
If you were making a pun, that was the worst ever pun.
It wasn't.
Okay.
What do you have against my puns, Kenny?
That you do them so often and they're always good.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting that to be a compliment.
They are always good and I hate it.
Thank
You never have a bad one and it makes me jealous.
Really witty. God, this place is going to the dogs.
What?
No Harry Potter fans in the house?
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of Harry Potter, I was going to reference the line when Kenny said what Florida man did. I thought of this earlier. And you know that part, and I believe it's the Half-Blood Prince, where McGonagall looks at Harry, Ron, Hermione, goes, "How come whenever there's trouble,
It's always you three.
And I think Texas, Florida,
Alabama.
yes.
Oh,
Alabama.
God. All right.
had
No
their
hot
vote.
takes. Do the sportscast before I scream.
There are early morning reports that Jack Eichel, the Buffalo Sabres superstar, has been traded to the Vegas Golden Knights. Per Darren Drager of TSN, the deal is Eichel and a 2023 third-round pick to Vegas for Peyton Krebs, Alex Tuck, a 2022 first-round pick, and a 2023 second-round pick. Eichel has been pining for a trade for a while, after Buffalo denied him neck surgery he wanted to get. There is doubts Eichel will play again this season, but either way, a star goes out to Sin City. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It's another week of Thursday Night Football. The Jets, hot off an underdog win versus the Bengals, look to keep it going against Carson Wentz and the Colts. There's an update in the Henry Ruggs situation. According to Chief Deputy District Attorney Eric Bauman, Ruggs was reportedly traveling at a speed of 156 miles per hour in a crash that left a 23-year-old woman and her dog dead, and Ruggs' blood alcohol level was 2 times the normal limit. Giants running back Saquon Barkley has tested positive for COVID-19. He is vaccinated, so if he provides 2 negative tests in a 24-hour span, he can play Sunday, but he's also dealing with an ankle injury, which may keep him out regardless. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has also tested positive for COVID. Unlike Barkley, he is unvaccinated, so he is out this week. Rodgers could face punishment, however, since he at one point said he was immunized during a press conference. The NFL could punish Rodgers for acting like he got vaccinated when he did not. An article by Mike Puma of the New York Post says that during Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil rat versus raccoon altercation, Lindor once grabbed McNeil by the throat. Puma also states that the argument started over McNeil not following the way the Mets' infield defense was supposed to be shifted, which led to a runner being safe. It's the end of an era in the Bay Area. Longtime San Francisco Giants catcher Buster Posey will reportedly announce his retirement today, per The Athletic's Andrew Bagram. Posey was a three-time world champion, the NL MVP in 2012, and a 7-time All-Star. The Knicks lost to the Pacers 111-98 and fell to 5-3. The Knicks had it as close as 3 points midway through the third, but ultimately fell. The Nets beat the Hawks 117-108 and improved to 5-3. Kevin Durant led the Nets with 32 points and 7 rebounds in the win. The Islanders visit Montreal to take on the Canadiens at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the 8th game of the Islanders' 13-game road trip as they wait for their new arena to be completed for their November 20th home opener. And finally, the Montclair State men's soccer team fell 1-0 to Rowan in the NJAC semifinals.
Thank you, Tanner. I would like to mention when I made that Puma sound, I don't have a Puma sound effect, but I do have a Hawk sound effect. Yeah, that's it. There you go. We can move on now. Okay, Lara, give us our next story.
Jay-Z joined, then deleted the gram. A day after Jay-Z finally joined Instagram, the 51-year-old rapper deleted his profile on the social media service on Wednesday. Jay had already amassed 1.8 million followers since joining. His first post, which he shared both on his feed and his story, was a promo for his upcoming flick, The Harder They Fall, which he produced. It will be featured on the Western Flicks poster, while on his story, he posted a countdown to when the movie started streaming on Netflix. Jay-Z was the only following person on the platform, his wife Beyonce. It seems that the 40-year-old singer was excited for her husband's arrival on Instagram as she reposted his countdown on her own story. I just love being a part of a
How do you feel about Beyonce?
I like Beyonce.
Oh, God. Okay, Beyonce's all right. She's the most overrated person on the planet.
I'm casual. Like, I like her, but I'm not obsessed with her.
Sorry, continue.
Thank you. I just love to be a part of a project that widens the lens, Jay-Z told ET's Kevin Frazier at the film's Los Angeles premiere, because it's only widened for us and then it's widened for the Asians, the Mexicans, for everyone. Both Beyonce and her mother supported Jay-Z at the event, while the rapper telling ET, "We support each other, that's what we do." The Harder They Fall hits theaters October 22nd, which has been out for almost 2 weeks, and begins streaming on Netflix today.
Today!
Oi!
Oi!
That means today.
I'll watch it.
You'll watch it? How do you all feel about Jay-Z? I will admit, I'm a very huge music guy, but one area of music I do lack in is rap.
As do I.
That's my specialty.
It's good that you're here.
I was just going to say that.
Nah, Jay-Z. he's in my top 10 all time, Jay-Z, which is a very hot take. I don't know, like you don't even
Is it?
have
I
to
thought
be
he was always like top 3 rappers of all time. Or do you just mean
Let's
artists?
look it up.
artist.
Do you just mean artists when you say top 10 or rappers?
When I say rappers, I just mean rappers specifically. Artists I can go into. Artists I
But you don't
like-
need to. I'm just curious what you mean by the top 10. You say top 10 of all
top
time.
10 rappers I'm gonna go with.
Oh, I
Artists,
thought he was always ranked higher.
Let's.
oh, he's
Emin-
definitely ranked
mm.
higher, but to keep things because normally I forget you guys might not be as
Well versed.
yes, in hip hop, when normally when you bring up top 10 in hip hop, it starts a war because you'll have people that bring up the traditional names like Tupac and Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar,
Nas.
respectable people.
Jay-Z is number 2 according to Billboard.
Not
of
Will
all-time
Nas,
rappers.
actual Nas.
Yeah. And then you'll have people that go, well, if XXX didn't die, I would put him in like top 3. And you
Oh.
have to humble
Have
those
you ever-
people. Very
Don't go under
You have to
don't go
humble-
under a Twitter comment section of any post about rap.
Oh
That's-
no,
those people. will-
that sounds scary.
The young boy better comments
Oh,
all the
God.
time. Yeah.
I'm personally not a huge fan of the new age of rap. I will say I used to be a complete hater. I've learned to actually open my mind
I'm
to
quirky.
like
I like old stuff.
I used to be like, oh man, last good rapper was like, no, there's been no good rappers since 2009.
I like
You
Ice
just-
Cube.
I like Ice Cube. He's definitely
No,
in
not I
my-
don't know who Ice Cube is. I like Ice Cube.
Oh,
You don't get this because Lara last week was talking about Ice Cube and she messed up and said
Ice
Ice Cube.
Cube.
Ice
she did it
Cube.
again today. I don't know.
I
if y'all
love
caught
Ice
on to it.
Cube.
Sorry, continue.
That seems like a very Lara thing to do. But
I got tongue tied. Okay.
nah, that just sounds like something you'll do on purpose, but you'll play it off like an accident.
Oh,
knowing
no.
exactly what you did.
Oh no, that was completely my tongue being twisted and tied. Take me to your best friends. Okay.
Stop it. You're done.
JT, please continue what
I'll
you're saying.
fire you.
Nah, but Jay-Z, if we're talking about like how he stands as an artist, I think I would rank in my top 10. I believe I have him ranked. I gotta look at my list again because I do have a list. I might need to update it a little bit.
Respect. I like
But-
that.
I think he was like number 4, if not 3,
Okay.
on my top.
I mean, the guy is, as much as I'm not a rap person, I can tell rap hip hop world that he's one of the most influential.
Very
I just know that
respected.
from being alive.
Nah, he's very respected, very respectable. Other names I gotta throw in there. Obviously Tupac. You gotta throw Eminem in there. Kendrick and Cole. Drake, I'm not sure where to place. I think I have him like number 7, and that's purely based off of longevity. But unpopular opinion about Drake, I don't think he's been as good as everybody makes him out to be since 2014. Nothing was the same with like his last really good album. And then he switched to Taylor Swift Drake, and all of his music started sounding the same.
Did you say Taylor Swift Drake?
Yes. Taylor Swift Drake. I'm like, how a lot of people say that like once Taylor Swift merged to pop, her
Oh.
brand just became very generic.
Can I- I want to- I love Taylor Swift. Oh.
Yes. What is happening?
Taylor Swift. Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Speak Now is her
Google.
most underrated album, and I will stand by this. Am I the only?
I don't know much about Taylor Swift. You introduced me to a
you
Taylor
remember-
Swift song.
That was the song. Yeah, Last Kiss was on Speak Now, and it
That
hits
song was
so
so.
hard. It's so good.
I'm gonna
will
play
say
that. I'm
Taylor
gonna
Swift
play that
has-
in the next Sad Boy Hours.
I gotta
Well,
say,
I
Taylor
know.
Swift is one of the best songwriters of this generation. I
Oh,
always say,
She
you
is.
feel how you want to feel about her with her music, but as she is as an artist, especially her songwriting ability, considering a lot of artists don't write their music,
Yeah,
which is crime punishable by far terrible means than what we have.
I thought you were gonna
legal.
say death.
yeah.
I-
I was. Yeah, I thought so.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say that on air, so I was trying to skirt around it.
You
a
are
kid show, but
Anti-life.
anti-life. Yeah,
I-
just say anti.
the
whatever,
death
it always
by
works.
wall, I would say to any artist who doesn't write their own music.
Did you say death by bowl?
Wall. wall, not chair,
What?
wall.
Death by wall, like Star Wars?
No. It's like a blindfolded individual lines up against
Why'd
the
you
wall.
scream? Sorry. What was that noise?
You know when the Star Wars intro opens, it's like I need to stop because I feel like I'm murdering everyone's ears.
It's not that. It's just that I say this as nice as possible. You're an even bigger nerd than me.
Oh, I know.
I'm a huge nerd. There's nothing wrong with
Listen,
being a
I'm
nerd.
a nerd too. But
There's nothing wrong with being a nerd. Nerds are the best.
My
Continue.
knowledge doesn't expand far out of Harry Potter. I tried to get it to Star Wars. My roommate's been trying to get me into it. I love Star Wars. I was just never able to get into it like I am Harry Potter.
I have a
JT,
friend that hates Star Wars because his parents like it.
you are a Gryffindor. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
What? Oh, JT's Gryffindor.
I'm a Ravenclaw.
You're a Ravenclaw. What am I?
I don't watch
Hufflepuff.
Harry Potter. sorry.
Hufflepuff?
Yeah,
I've been told that
Princess.
before. I don't know what that means.
that's okay.
You're
Yeah, I
a
don't
fluffy
know.
personality.
Yeah,
I
you're
just
very-
go. I just know Harry Potter because
Gryffindor.
if I go to Universal, I just go on the rides. and-
Yes,
I've never been, and I
I
need
love
to go.
Universal Harry Potter World is great.
Anyway,
I just,
JZ.
you take the train to the other park. That's the only thing.
Jay-Z.
Yes.
Anyway,
Moving-
JZ.
What would Jay Z be? JT.
Oh,
What would
God.
Jay-Z
Oh,
be?
All right, we're moving
There
to a
was-
He
break.
has to be a
No,
Slytherin.
no,
Power.
no,
I thought so too.
no, we're moving to Empire State of Mind. This is JZ. Sour cream.
Berries and cream.
What? No, it's WMSC. Where's my sour cream? It's the acronym. I heard an ADJ say that
Oh my
once,
God.
and it was the.
Oh.
Oh
funniest-
my! Oh
You got it, Tanner.
yeah. My entire life just changed.
He was one
I'm
of the
not gonna be able to
funniest
think
things I've
of
ever
this station the same way again. I'm just gonna think of where's my sour cream.
Funniest things I have heard on it. This is the guy that dressed up as Austin Powers for Halloween party, which is completely shitting. It was his first time ever shadowing the show. WMSC, where's my sour cream? Is like, oh, this kid's gonna be a good DJ.
That's funny.
Anyway, we have more stories. This one is about science.
Science is cool.
Science. Yay. This actually is a really cool article, I think. So, have you ever wondered, how do natural disasters affect relationships? Feedback maintains a long list of questions we have never thought about asking. A fact that will surprise no one who knows our prediction for impossible logic. So we are pleased to see that a query is now comprehensively answered in a paper called Experiencing a Natural Disaster Temporarily Boosts Relationship Satisfaction in Newlywed Couples. This study involved 231 couples in Harris County, Texas, around the time of Hurricane Harvey back in 2017. And is, quote, the first to use longitudinal data collected before and after a natural disaster to examine its effect on relationship outcomes. This rather raises the questions in our mind of how long the researchers were waiting, patiently observing, and just wondering when disaster will strike, which is awful. Or perhaps, maybe it is merely a case of when rather than if in that part of Texas. Or maybe they have a... No matter. For anyone wondering whether a fortuitously timed tornado might put the whirlwind back into the romance, whether a wildfire can relight their fire, or whether earth moving makes the earth move, the answer is yes. So I am curious, for those of you, and I know at least one of you is in a relationship. I don't know if this is true, but how have you been affected by natural disasters, if at all?
I haven't.
You know what's actually
I
very funny
haven't.
is what's very interesting is when we had the storm.
I'd like to point out that Kelly's boyfriend is newscaster extraordinaire Sal DiMaggio.
Hello, Sal, if you're listening.
We had
He probably
the-
is, because he's a great boyfriend and he's a great man. I love you,
Aw.
Sal.
Hi, Sal.
I
What a
love Sal
great
more than Kelly
man's-
loves Sal. I say that jokingly. That's not true. I have to point that out.
No, actually, like the time when Hurricane Ida happened and like it affected Montclair was a few days before Sal and I started being together, which is kind of funny.
Oh, so you've been together that long?
No, it's been 2 months, but I've known him. I've known him in high school.
Oh,
Wow.
it's like an inverse thing. Normally, they know each other in high school and break up. That's so
That is 100%
awesome.
true.
Kelly, you really said Uno reverse card.
Reverse card.
What color would it
No,
be?
reverse card. What color?
What color would the card be?
Oh, it's red.
Yeah?
Always,
Yeah.
right.
Nice. What house is Sal in?
I just want to point out, I'm going to make fun of our station manager, Kaya Masiak. I love making fun of her.
You like making fun of everybody.
It's so much fun. I've been out for blood this week. I don't know what it is.
I'm the
I think it's just
same
'cause I
way
need more
with my
sleep.
friends,
You're
and I have
approaching your
to make
week
up
off.
for it. And like the amazing ways, like people think I simp for my friends. I'm like, no, because I roast everybody so much. I just have to make up for it.
Exactly. No, that's 100% true. Kaya, one time was playing Uno, and one person asked her, "Hey, Kaya, what color?" And she said, 7.
I'm sorry.
It's so funny.
Is that in
Anyway,
the quote book.
that's in the quote book.
Got it.
Anyway, Lara,
Mhm.
you said this doesn't apply to your relationship.
Honestly, I don't know. I look outside and rain. Hey, did you see the rain outside?
Well, a
Yeah.
rain is different.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, did you see
If
the
it's
hurricane?
something
Yeah.
severe, people bond through tragedy.
I haven't
Yeah.
experienced anything.
When
but-
the storm hit, like my lovely girlfriend.
Am I the
is-
only person here singing?
Yes.
Me too. So
All right.
you're good.
Yeah, Tanner.
Bros,
Yeah.
Saturdays for the boys.
Saturdays for the boys.
Could it be John? Sorry. Anyway, JT.
Nah, but she's still at home. She commutes to Rowan. She's 2 hours away. But I heard the storm hit everywhere, in
Especially
Jersey.
bad in that area.
Yeah, so like it was funny. We texted each other around the same time. She texted me, asking me if I was okay, and I'm like, I'm on the 7th floor. I'm cooling. Are you okay? And then she's like, it's coming down hard over here. So like there was like us checking on each other, and then we realized we were okay. We enjoyed our night. And then later she sent me a video of people at Seton Hall swimming in the flood, and was like,
That's not safe.
"Come here, over
What?
here." Yeah, she sent me a video. Like I think the official Instagram of New Jersey was just posting like the craziest stories of the flood, and
There's a-
one of them was on Seton Hall, and people were swimming.
Did
In
you
the
see the
There's a,
rowboat one?
there's a lake.
That too.
There
by
are
my
many
house.
lakes, Tanner. Sorry.
What?
Lake.
I said there are many lakes. I'm sorry.
Lake.
No,
in
there's a
Maine.
lake by my house, like 10 minutes away, less than that, and it's very contaminated, and
Oh.
everyone knows that it is.
Like the
And
Hudson.
there's video
Good
from
job,
them
Lara.
Thank you.
of a group of 10 kids jumping in the lake and like swimming in it.
Don't swim in Tanner's hometown lake, and don't swim in the
Yeah.
Hudson.
Please don't swim in a
Don't
Hudson.
do
You're
it.
gonna find a body in there anyway.
Oh my.
JT.
Anyway, our PSAs are not to swim in contaminated areas. Here's a quick PSA.
Mom, are you eating a yogurt while you're driving? You need both hands on the wheel.
I need to get the most important meal of the day.
Mom, since when do you have a TikTok? How are you making a TikTok while you're driving? You're driving with your knees.
Renegade. We going viral.
Wait, are you getting a tattoo?
Oh,
When did you get in the car?
Hey,
When did he get in here?
This is
There's no
Doug.
outlet.
He's a professional, so it's okay. Doug, we should go out.
Are you on a date? In the car? When did a table get in the back seat?
We've always had this.
We're on the road.
so you got any kids?
I'm right here.
No.
I can't believe this.
It's not just your life on the line when you're driving with your kids. It's theirs.
Yes.
No, it's
and
not.
put the distractions away
Why?
and keep both eyes on
Because-
the road.
Is the water?
Hey,
So when
listeners,
something
if you love our
has
content
water
on
on it,
90.3
that
WMSC,
is wet.
you can
So,
follow
like,
us on
what-
social media to stay updated on our radio shows,
Waters can't be
sports
waters
events,
together.
giveaways,
That's like
and
asking
so
if
much
fire
more.
hot.
I mean, I
You
get
can
it.
follow
no,
us on
because water
Facebook at
technically is wet, but,
WMSC
like,
90.3
but, like,
FM,
you
Instagram
have
at
fire.
WMSC Radio,
No.
and Twitter at
So then water's not
WMSC. So we hope to see you on our social media platforms. Thank you
Yeah,
from
I
all
just-
of
I
us here on
didn't think about it for so
90.3
long that the time was
It's the
WMSC.
embodiment of wet.
We just debated if water's wet or not. I'm really upset. We have more stories to cover. We have the weird news of the day, the fun bar, the most fun part. Yay!
Yeah.
Cheering sound effect.
Yeah. Do we have that? We have a clap. Give me one
You know
second.
the children's sound effect that every YouTuber uses? It's like, yay!
Wow.
We need a sound
That.
effect. No.
Yeah, because now the flash is funny. I think someone would keep filming as a cute. That was what you just sounded like.
Anyway, Lara, we talked a lot about the election today. A lot about the
More.
New Jersey election. We're going
But
to talk about it
wait.
some more. Tell us.
But wait, there's more. Truck driver threatens to unseat New Jersey's longest serving Senate president. A Republican truck driver in New Jersey might pull off the biggest upset in American politics this year. Edward Durr is a South Jersey furniture store truck driver that is to unseat the Senate's longest-serving Senate President, Democrat Stephen Sweeney. Durr's campaign features a pitch far from the pretentious and his departure from the big budget productions we typically see in political races today. It's been a tireless race for Jersey's District 3. He said, quote, "I am just a truck driver. Am I really going to beat the longest-serving Senate president in the state of New Jersey? The second most powerful guy." He also tells the National Desk he got into the race after watching how Democratic leaders handled the coronavirus and enforced lockdowns in his native New Jersey. As Wednesday, Durr holds about 2,000 vote lead over Sweeney with more than 99% of. Can you help me with that word? Is it
Precincts.
I'm not looking.
Precincts.
Yes, that's the
Thank
word.
you. Predicts reporting. The Associated Press has not yet called a winner, but we shall stay tuned, I guess, to see later.
This guy spent $153 on his campaign.
That's it.
That's impressive. That
That is shocking.
That's how much I have in
that's
my bank account.
impressive. No matter where you stand, that's
More
impressive.
than I-
$153 on his campaign and he did it
And he has
on
a lead.
Dunkin' stuff.
And he has a
Yeah.
lead.
The audacity. This man, it is commendable.
Is his drive just to beat Sweeney? Or is it because he actually wants the seat?
Well, this is the kind of
Probably.
thing. Was he kidding?
I can't tell anymore.
Because now he's
But
stuck.
bro,
Isn't
I don't
there a
think it's
show
a
about that
joke
where a guy
anymore.
ran as a joke and then he won?
Yeah, Donald Trump.
I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for that. At first I was like, ooh.
No.
At first I was like,
JT.
he did. At first he was like, Senate seat. But bro, as a joke. But bro, I don't think it's a joke anymore.
My jaws dropped.
Are you so shocked?
You were thinking it.
It was just
It was so
I
good.
wasn't thinking. It was just so quick.
JC, I
So
thought it too,
sudden.
don't worry. We,
That was JT. You're promoted. You're hired.
Let's go.
Not fired.
Oh man.
Oh gee. Oh my god. Sorry, continue. Please continue. I gotta recollect myself.
do you just need a minute?
Yeah, I need like 12.
Are you gonna run for Senate just to beat somebody?
But then
What's the drive?
Well, the drive is a truck drive.
That was a pun. I didn't even mean it to be.
But
That was really funny, actually. Really
thank
witty.
you. You
I
taught me
can't,
well.
I can't imagine what's going through Sweeney.
Yeah.
He probably beat throughout his career.
This
like,
guy's the longest
very
serving
good- probably
guy.
probably candidates that have also been in office for long times, and he's about to lose his long serving seat to a truck driver.
I guess
How do you
Durr's drive was to drive furniture.
See, that would be okay if I didn't just make a drive pun.
Well, I added the
I
furniture.
wonder if he wins,
Eh.
is he
I know.
still gonna be a truck driver?
Would you?
Do you think
mean-
he could work from the truck?
Yeah.
His office is the truck.
What is
Wait,
it?
it's
The campaign offices, and it's a
No, truck drivers
It's
have like
for-
little like
18-wheeler.
bunks in the back.
we
so
have,
they can,
we have
like,
an
pull
interview
over
from the
and sleep.
campaign offices, and he's like he's in a McDonald's like driving.
no. His office is in the truck because he works for a furniture store, so he could just get the
What do
furniture
you
and
what do
put
you
it in the
say
truck.
about what do you say about the policies? I'll take a McChicken.
I highly doubt that will happen. But also, that makes me wonder, what's this guy know?
Right?
I don't know.
Does he have any experience besides
Truck
Truck
His-
driving?
besides his? I was trying to make a pun, but it didn't work.
Besides his
His
drive
motivation.
to win?
So I didn't want to
His
use
drive
drive
to
again.
You already did, so
I
think it's
did.
fine.
I did. No, I did not. That's why I was looking for a synonym. Kenny,
Sounds like you need a thesaurus.
I do need a source actually.
Good talk. But what is this guy's? I'm amazed. I want to be like this man.
A truck driver?
A truck driver who upsets the world. The election hasn't been called yet, but it is looking very likely he's going to win. I wonder about the voters as well. Are the voters voting just as a meme for him?
can't tell.
I assume the people behind voting him I want to say the same people behind voting Donald Trump, but I think the more accurate comparison is the same people behind voting Kanye West. Where you're just
Yeah.
Yes.
done with
Yes.
the
And I'm
political scene,
Kanye West.
and somebody.
Wait, well, who's Kanye West?
That was from a song.
No, who's Kanye West?
You mean Ye West?
please. tell
You
me.
you ruined it. First of all, it's just he doesn't have a last name. It's
Oh,
just,
just Ye.
Oh, just
no,
yay.
it's Yay.
Yay.
This is a debate that I've had
Wait.
with many people.
I am so
Yay or
slow.
Yay.
I am so slow. I thought you were being serious for a second. I was like,
I need a minute.
Kenny, I know you said you
Have-
weren't a rap fan, but my God.
I
Wait,
thought
have you
were-
guys? I'm sure you've watched Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
my favorite
Yay
show.
me? Is that what Ye
Yay
says to himself? Whatever.
Really, the debate isn't going to be solved until he says his own name.
That's true.
Because I've had this debate with this is a debate around the SMT of the radio station, the management team. And none of us really know for a fact. There's Team Yee and Team Yay. I'm big proponent of Team Yay.
Okay, the only reason why I think Ye because of that dinosaur video from
Is Kanye sorry,
do you remember-
Yay a dinosaur?
do you remember that video
No.
on YouTube with the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ye. So that's the only reason
We're
why.
moving on now. Lara, please give us the next story before I scream again.
California high school apologizes for its football team's 106-0 victory. A California high school apologized after its football team won 106-0 last week. A blowout that drew criticism from the opposing school, and state reports Federation will lack sportsmanship. Inglewood High School principal Debbie Tate issued a statement.
Englewood, not in New Jersey.
No, California.
Nope.
The other side of the world. Not the world, the country. It's been a slow morning. Anyway,
You're okay.
thank you. So the statement says on Monday, apologizing to the Morningside High School, saying the administration will work to ensure the school's football program conducts itself with the, quote, highest level of sportsmanship and integrity going forward. The apology comes after Morningside coach Brian Collins told the Los Angeles Times the Inglewood in California team refused to allow a running clock, even as the team was up 59-0 after the first quarter. Collins-
Bruh! First quarter?
yeah,
Wow.
that's what
Yeah.
that's what it says.
Okay, if they kept up on that pace, that'd be 256-0.
Yeah.
I'm right. Don't worry about it.
But it's like,
I wasn't questioning your math
236.
skills.
236.
How
I
are you
was wrong.
so good at math?
Just am. I just kind of see it.
Oh, that's
236. Sorry, I was wrong.
it's just like, I don't understand how like
Do you want to know what went on in my head
being a
real quick?
being a bad team, is equated to sportsmanship. I do not understand that. It's like, it's one thing if you're like, I understand like sportsmanship rules, like you can't dance in the player's face after you make a touchdown.
Well, that
Okay.
is it's called a
which is
lack of
dumb.
it's lack of sportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, like I
No,
said that, but
now
like, if you just can't play football and the other team just happens to know how to play their sport and it shows on the scoreboard, I don't understand how it's their fault.
I feel like this is what happened if a college team played. No, let me just say that. If this is like, yeah, no, I'll say that. If this a college team played an NFL team,
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
I mean, I wonder in this if maybe the two schools are rival teams, because if that happens and the two teams hate each other, then I would try to run up the score as much as I can.
That's
That's
a good
fair.
point. I mean, in high school, if you are
High
a
school.
No
high school
one-
football player, you gotta really try.
Yeah, if I was the
because
think
that's college
I saw
recruiting.
that the quarterback on the team that scored 106 committed to UCLA.
Yeah, if he just
But
stopped.
If I'm one of those players, I want to get the ball as much as I can. Maybe a big school will see that the stats and
Yeah,
be, hey,
exactly.
you want to join our? Hey, you want to come here? And who knows? It could lead to the NFL. So
You haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school
High school
football.
football.
Exactly. But real quick,
only,
Lara,
that's
do you
the
want to know
only
what went on?
quote I've seen from that show.
Right?
I
It's just
I saw that.
he says that while like he's in prison, and it's to his fellow mates, and I'm like,
all I've seen, doesn't he say it? Sure, someone says like someone died or something.
probably Archiekins.
Real quick, Lara, do you want to know what went on my head
Okay.
for that math?
What?
So 59 times 4, it's just 60
Uh,
times 4 minus 4.
You're making my
Whoa.
brain hurt.
I hate math with a.
So do
burning
I. I'm just good
passion.
at it.
Mental abuse towards humans.
No.
See, my brain hurts. I did a speech on that last year in my speech class.
On what?
How your
persuade-
brain hurts?
How your brain? hurts?
No, I
Yeah.
did a persuasive speech on how math is mental abuse towards humans.
Did you actually?
I did.
What,
was
what'd you
not good.
get?
I don't know.
I did mine.
I think I got a B.
on- What did I do mine on? Oh yeah, I did mine on how stuff doesn't need to be as expensive as it is.
That's good.
Hmm.
I was just pretty
Not
much-
math being mental abuse. That is.
That was me in high school.
My God,
in
dude, you're gonna have
algebra
to show me
2.
this speech.
Fine.
I'm gonna do my birth chart. So
I will do your birth chart.
Me in
I'll call
algebra
you
2
out.
crying as like the teacher's like doesn't teach and everybody
Oh,
else
I
in the class
cried.
just gets it.
My sophomore
And
year.
then she just learned to look at me and no, I don't get it.
What?
Everybody else like, oh, I get it. This is easy. And I'm just sitting at the paper like crying. And she's looking at me like, do you need help? I was like, I must say yeah, but I'm still not gonna get it. Just let me fail.
well, that's something about math. This is completely off topic. Math is well, no, I'm gonna say it's on topic because high school teaches math. Boom.
Mhm.
Math teachers and especially math professors at big institutions. I used to be a math major at Rutgers. JT, you don't know that. Now you do. And Rutgers is one of the best places in the world for math, which is why I went there. And as a math major there, they hire people for research purposes. They hire them to raise the notoriety of the institution, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing in that people who are hired just for research purposes are not typically very good in teaching. So they'll just kind of do their
Mhm.
thing and be like, you get it?
It's like, no, I don't get it. I remember I cried in my geometry class my sophomore year of
My
high school.
recent math professor just goes, I don't know, we're all struggling. And then somebody asks if she could break it down. And she has the nerve to ask us, is this not an easy course?
Oh,
And the way the class shouted her down.
I got a 55 on my homework assignment for my stats class. It's homework. Shouldn't it be marked as complete or incomplete? I did the
That's what
work.
I'm saying.
Why are you
Yeah.
grading me so harshly? Not only that, the teacher's assistant graded the assignments. Like, sir, do I look like a math major? No, I
Oh.
do not. So can you just give me 100 because I did the work and I tried my best? No, you had to give me a 55 because I don't know what I'm doing.
Teachers' assistants can be, well, you know.
Teacher's assistants.
Who knows with all this? But really, one thing that we do know is that this team that won is numero uno in their football prowess.
I just remembered
Coming up, our song is numero uno. Welcome back to the Morning Buzz here at WMSC 90.3 FM. We have got some more weird news stories. I am really excited to talk about this. I'm sure our general manager, Annabella Poland, who is listening right now, is going to be very, 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 as many varies as in the world, sad. Lara, please give us the next story.
So, doctors see a spike in teen girls with tick-like behaviors. A recent study found teen girls are developing tick-like behaviors after watching TikTok videos of people with Tourette's syndrome. There are TikTok creators who document what it's like to live with Tourette's syndrome, which is identified as irregular, uncontrollable, and repetitive movements that can occur in any part of the body. Doctors across the globe are now reporting a spike in teen girls having these symptoms. In one study, researchers suggest the teens develop the behaviors after watching the videos with people with Tourette's syndrome.
Oh God. TikTok, seriously?
Oh my God, those kids and those TikTokers, them,
In our Discord, I'm sorry. She just said ugh.
yeah. Yeah. Another study, researchers analyzed TikTok videos with the hashtags tick, Tourette's, and Tourette. Researchers say they believe this is an example of mass sociogenic, thank you, illness, which involves behaviors, emotions, or conditions spreading spontaneously through a group, and called it a
God.
pandemic within a pandemic.
Oh God.
We
Yeah.
have a lot of pandemics.
Oh,
going on
yeah.
right now. Like,
Researchers focus on the most popular content creators like ZZ25, who can be viewed trying to control her Tourette syndrome while getting a COVID-19 test. Basically, what this means is that you're displaying symptoms that are inconsistent and all that fun stuff.
Oh God.
Also, quote, not fun stuff.
Yeah. Also, quote, non-fun stuff. That is that really a thing from a science person? They're saying their quote is not fun stuff.
I'm not a science person.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
But
A science person
I was
said that.
trying to.
wait, so like, are there people that like, are they trying to say that these people are like faking these symptoms just because they see it on TikTok?
I
Or
don't
are they trying to say that
know.
TikTok is giving people Tourette?
I don't know. They're saying it's
We're saying
mass
people-
sociogenic behavior.
What was that?
They're
Terry?
watching the videos and somehow it leads to that. I don't know.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know.
Oh my God.
I can't really tell if this scientist is saying that people are just imitating it or actually like have
Oh my God.
have Tourette's. I don't know. What?
This is my sister. No.
What
This is
happened?
my sister. My sister does this now that I think about it.
Oh god.
Does she actually?
Yeah, she calls it glitches.
Glitches.
Oh my god.
That's
What,
actually
what are we, robots?
I don't know.
all of the birds died in 1980. Sorry,
Oh god.
living in a simulation.
You are
I'm
a
kidding.
living meme.
Thank you. You know, it's not the first time I've been called that.
No.
Really?
Yeah, and
I
all
think
throughout
I
high
think
school.
I called her that.
You
That's
have.
her. Yeah, she has, because she will sit there in film class and make memes.
Oh yeah. JT, no. We have a class together and it's very fun.
Oh God.
And I help make it very fun.
Somebody will make a pun, and I'm like, oh my god. And Lara just whips out her computer and just starts creating a meme, and I'm just like,
I just opened Photoshop up real quick. Within like 5 minutes, it's done. Send it up in the group me.
What else is TikTok gonna cause in people?
TikTok. I don't
TikTok.
mean to be.
Oh, and I said that. By the way, I have TikTok. I use it a lot.
Do
I
you-
wouldn't say a
do you
lot.
do
I
the
used to use it all
renegade
the time.
Kenny?
TikTok famous.
I do what?
Do you-
TikTok famous.
I am.
Do you do the
No, are you?
renegade, Kenny?
I went viral a few times.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it felt good, and I was like, oh wait, this doesn't matter.
No, everybody's telling me that, like, I've been complaining recently that my like music isn't, going off like it used to in high school. And people are like, you gotta get on TikTok. That's an easy way to spread it. And I'm like,
But it's not.
I want
in a way.
to.
I wouldn't say easy as much as it is successful when it is successful.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. I was like, I want to, but this is the same platform that gave us the Devious Select Challenge.
Oh,
So
what?
God. Do you not know about the Devious Select Challenge?
oh
What is
God.
that?
It was
That's when people would steal sinks out of their high school.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
yeah, and
doors.
people would like literally like run off with like toilet seats. And like I already knew my high school. Like I was curious as to how my high school was dealing with it because they often overreacted about small stuff. So I was curious as to how they were taking this like
How-
serious situation.
How do they take it?
So I asked some of my friends at the high school, and she sent me a video of the principal screaming at the whole body over the
Oh, I
loudspeaker
yeah.
at like 7
When
o'clock
it was
in the
still
morning.
popular, I kept seeing videos of like, don't principals on the loudspeaker. Don't steal sinks.
Like I like
Yes.
like I knew this was gonna happen because our principal used to scream at us for dumb stuff. Like we used to get in trouble for like dumb stuff. So I'm like, oh god.
Yeah,
Now
but
they actually have a reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
but speaking of stealing, our next story is Florida Man.
Let's go.
Everyone's favorite.
Man. I have to still make a sound effect for that. I want to do that. Yeah, it's gonna be like a superhero thing. It's be Florida Man.
Like a Batman knockoff?
Yeah, kind of.
Why
No,
is
no,
it
no, no,
always
no, no, no,
Florida?
no, no,
Like,
no, no,
Florida
no, no,
Man.
Florida
Florida
Man.
Man.
I've
Oh,
been
that's
looking at
perfect.
these Florida Man
We'll work on
articles
it
and
later.
wonder if they're actually real.
Florida man.
Anyway,
Florida Man.
a Florida man
Whatever,
allegedly
Florida man.
a Florida man allegedly attempts to steal 100 lobster tails from a Coral Gables Publix. A man in Coral Gables, Florida, allegedly tried to rob a Publix of 100 lobster tails on Monday, and of course, he threatened to use a weapon. According to Coral Gables police, the man allegedly entered a Publix. Who is laughing? JT allegedly entered a Publix supermarket. And around 5:30 p.m., he then hopped onto an electric shopping cart and proceeded towards the seafood section of the store. Police say the man then asked an employee for 100 lobster tails that were each sold at $7, totaling $700. After having the 100 tails placed in his shopping cart, he made a turn and proceeded directly towards the exit with, quote, no intention of paying. And he went towards the exit on the electric shopping cart. And he was caught by police and arrested. What goes through these people's heads?
Do you think he was making a lobster roll if it was that important?
If he was making a lobster roll?
Yeah, because they're lobsters.
Is that a pun?
I kind of
There was-
expected it to be a pun, but if it was awful.
It's a genuine question. What was
Couldn't
he
you
gonna
do that with
them?
one lobster tail?
It's
Maybe- Does he own a catering business?
I've never
Maybe-
had lobster. I
Does
gotta
he
Can
own a
we come up-
banquet hall?
the
Can we
struggling
come up with the
catering.
lore?
What?
Can we come up with the lore?
Yeah, I love lore. I love lore so much. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe he has a banquet hall, or he could. The caterers fell through. He had to do something about it.
Yeah, but he's on the verge of losing his business. He couldn't afford it. And in addition to that, his legs, they're broken, which is why he had to use the electric shopping cart. This is all not true. I have to point that out.
Fake lore, not canon.
Yes, this is not canon. This is fan fiction.
Not fan
I am
fiction.
so
You
confused.
just awakened so many memories, Kenneth.
You just Kenneth me?
I did. That was worth.
I don't. My mom doesn't even Kenneth me.
I know you
Told
said
out
this on
the
Tuesday when I
government.
did
Left the room and
it
she
to you.
did.
I did. What'd you say, Kelly?
You left the room and she also called you Kenneth.
I did when he called.
That's like me when people call me Jermaine. Like nobody outside I told you this. Nobody outside my job calls me that. So like when people do it for dramatic purposes, aka my girlfriend, it gives me the biggest ick ever. I'm just like, don't do that. Don't do that.
My name's too short, so I'll just use yours.
Lara. I don't know.
I
I've
call her
been
Tiny
called
Tot,
Blair
like,
Bear. in middle
Blair
school.
Bear.
Yeah. Terrible.
I remember the first time I met you. You said your name was Lara, and I thought you said Lyra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
at the meeting you announced.
I said, "Hi, Lyra,"
I'm like,
or
"That's
whatever.
not my name.
Yeah, and then you said that's not my name. And then you said something else, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then that was also wrong.
I knew her for a whole year and I never heard her name said out loud thanks to COVID. So like I think this year I finally asked her, I was like, okay, is it Laura or is it Lara? I think
It's Lara.
she's the third one I've known. The other two, one was Laura, one was Lara. So it's like reading it for a year straight, it was either one of the two, and it gave me such a bad like tick that like when I finally met her,
Tick?
I was like, okay, which one
Maybe
is it?
you've been watching too much TikTok.
Oh.
No.
But we have one more Florida man story to wrap up
Yay.
the show. This
Florida
one,
man.
Lara, give it to us.
All right. Forked lift aisle 1. Grown man lies on the floor in a Costco after being asked to wear a mask. A Florida man was filmed as he lay on the floor in a Costco for 8 minutes in protest after he was told to put on a face mask. A pair of local sheriffs asked the maskless man to get off the floor and leave the premises. All I want to do is buy this stuff and leave, but the government is telling me that I can't unless I wear a mask. The video of the man, who was not publicly identified, began making viral rounds on Saturday when a Twitter user posted a TikTok of the bizarre incident, which had over 884,000 views, 8,000 likes, and nearly 3,000 combined retweets as of Sunday night. He said he would sue Costco and the police if they touched him. The original filmer, who was asked to remain anonymous, told Newsflare. Florida man strikes again.
Oh God.
It's always Florida.
Florida is just
They need to be their own
Florida.
state. I mean, country. They're their own state. I'm slow.
I feel like Florida is
Florida-
its own country sometimes.
What was going through this guy's head? What do you think?
Phil Murphy bad.
What was going? I sometimes think Florida people are just determined to go viral, so they go, "Screw it, I'm gonna be the next Florida man." So they just do like,
You see, I
They-
don't
they-
know.
He trains every day to be Florida man.
Who knows? But this story,
I'm gonna be Florida man.
maybe they had to bring a forklift to bring this guy up. This is going to wrap it up for the morning buzz here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I have been the host of today's show, Kenny Horn, joined by my co-host Lara Ziccardi, newscaster Kelly Marr, which is not meager, even though it should be, the sportscaster Tanner Price, and cool. And music segment host JT Bethea. We're gonna move on. Here is a dog on a skateboard.